Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is another beautiful day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today. I hope all of you are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Andrea Romie. She is the owner of Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville, Minnesota. And she's here to discuss the ways Home Helpers supports individuals to stay safe, independent, and comfortable right where they want to be, which is at home. Home Helpers provides non-medical in-home care designed for seniors, individuals with disabilities, those recovering from surgery, or anyone who needs extra support with daily living. Home Helpers assists with duties like personal care, meal preparation, medication reminders, companionship, light housekeeping, and transportation. Respite care is also offered to give family caregivers a much-needed break. All services are centered around a customized care plan because no two clients are the same. What sets Home Helpers apart is the focus on not just caring for the client, but supporting the entire family. The goal is to provide peace of mind, knowing your loved one is being cared for with compassion, dignity, and consistency. You'll enjoy listening to my conversation today with Andrea Romie. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and, of course, topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows. And we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website. And we can also be found on your favorite streaming service, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and many others. You can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there are two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show producer, Adam, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 946-6205, or you can directly text us your question at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry if you missed our contact numbers. I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I am very excited to welcome our guest for today's show, Andrea Romie, owner of Home Helpers Home Care. Welcome to the show, Andrea.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, this is just great. I tell you, this is such a fast-growing field. As all of our baby boomers continue to age, it's amazing how many people need help at home. So we're going to talk all about that. And so if you have questions, folks, please give us a call, because this is really, really important for quality of care. And like you said to me, peace of mind earlier.
Yep.
All right. First of all, the audience loves to hear about your background. You know, who is this Andrea that showed up here?
Sure. Yep. So again, my name is Andrea Romie. I live in Savage, and Home Helpers is based in Burnsville. I have a nice short commute, 4 minutes down the road, which is amazing, because my background is mostly in the corporate world. So I've worked at several different large organizations, really in business operations, product, program, project management, if you've ever heard of all of those. But I've really always kind of had this dream, and anyone who talks to me for too long would hear about how I wanted to own a business one day, and really kind of got serious about that dream over the last couple years, doing some research and thinking about what type of business I ultimately would want to own. So really, I jumped in. All the way last year and decided to work with Home Helpers, which is a franchise, and purchased my territory and got my license for in-home care in 2025. So it was really important ultimately for me to choose a business and a franchise partnership that was focused on service. In this particular service, supporting, really we can support folks of all ages, but certainly focused on seniors. It's a much needed service in the community. I wanted to be based in my own community. That was really important to me. So having my franchise location be based in the heart of Burnsville there was really important. It's been wonderful so far. I'm still new to the industry, but really connecting with people in the community, other business owners, as well as the clients that I serve has been absolutely wonderful. I've learned a ton, and I even decided to go back to get do some more schooling and get my CNA, which I've got one more step left to do. I got to pass my skills test. I've passed all the other tests. I've got that skills test coming up, but anyhow, bringing that business background as well as an actual certification in nursing assisting was really important to me as well. So, like I said, I'm really pleased with the people that I've met and the service that I'm able to provide.
And I tell you, I really am impressed too for an owner-operator to go and get their CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant. That's just critical because there's so many skills and so many things that goes into helping support our seniors or people with disabilities, and it's great to have that training. I know there's a lot of people out there doing just independent. We run across a lot of people in our profession.
Yep.
And it's nice to know that there's some certification, some licensing, something that a person has pursued, just to make sure that they have the best perspective on how to help support people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, kind of after I first, decided to go into this business and started working with caregivers, I just thought that it would be best to have a really solid understanding of the type of cares that we may be providing so I can support not only my clients, but my caregivers as well. My particular license is called a basic home care license. It doesn't require any certification as far as the caregivers or the owner of the business. There is very specific training that we all have to go through, and we do. So not required for me to have a CNA, but I felt it was important that I had a deeper understanding of the type of cares we'd be providing. We do provide non-medical support, so even some of the things that I learned in my CNA training, we won't be doing in the home. But a lot of those things focused around, especially the personal cares, so bathing, grooming, dressing, just getting a more hands-on and solid experience of those type of cares. So if I ever have to be a caregiver myself,
Right.
if there's a step in, if there's a caregiver that calls out, or I schedule myself for some shifts, but also, like I said, really being able to talk to my clients and have a deeper understanding of the type of care that they need, as well as making sure that my caregivers are providing the best care. That was an important piece that I decided to pursue.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that I mentioned to you just before the show started, more than half of all the guests that I've had on the show over the years have been people who have made a career change. And it's so interesting because Gallup polls and all these surveys say how unhappy people are with their job choice or the field they're in. And it's just so interesting how the people that gravitate towards this show are doing something that is totally different than what they went to school for, what they spend part of their career for. And I said, I just am so impressed because I work with so many owner-operators, people who have gone out on their own. And I'll tell you, you guys give the best care and the best customer service and the best response because it's your passion. It's your organization. And so I just want to encourage people, if they have questions, give us a call here and talk to you.
Absolutely.
And you'll give your information out here after each commercial break. But I think I'm just so impressed with the people who in the middle of their career go, I'm going to do something 180 degrees different. And I tell you, you guys are always so successful because it's like you've started your career and you learned all these skills and you figured out what you like and don't like and what you're good at and what you're not good at. And then you make a decision, and it's great to have you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love supporting people that are trying to make their way and do something a little bit different, a little bit better than others. So.
I appreciate it, and I think, for me, I knew what my skills were in terms of operating a business, and this type of business actually translates really nicely. I enjoy all the different pieces that I do day to day, as far as operating the business, marketing the business. So it's been actually a really good fit for me.
Well, and the thing is, you're working directly with people that you can make a significant difference in their life. And we'll talk more about that.
Yep.
As we get back from the break here, it's time for a short break, and we'll be back to our conversation with Andrea Romie, owner of Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville. And she covers more than Burnsville. We'll talk about that next segment. But she's here discussing the ways Home Helpers supports individuals to stay safe, independent, and comfortable right where they want to be, and that's at home. If you have a question, give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hey, it's Patrick. It's May, and you may have fallen behind on your spring cleaning without even realizing it. But that's no problem because my cleaning heroes at Zero Res are here to help. Don't look now, but all those summertime activities are closing in fast. You might be having a graduation party at your house, or maybe a Memorial Day weekend barbecue, and you want your house to look top-notch for those friends and family coming to visit. Zero Res can take care of any service in your home, from carpet, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, grout, and more. So don't put off spring cleaning any longer, and don't miss this deal. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus a $599 whole system air duct cleaning. Call 952-ZERO-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hey, Francois, what's with all the wrapping paper?
Salut, Laura, je fais des cadeaux.
You're making gifts. These must be for your clients. And then your favorite macaroons for Nicolettes.
Bien sûr.
Oh, they put your business logo on them? Luxurious.
Oui, et ils expédient partout dans le pays.
They ship anywhere in the U.S., and look how many you bought. You must have lots of clients.
Mais non, ils sont tous pour moi.
Oh, Francois, these are just for you? Well, visit NicolettesMacaroons.com today to create thoughtful gifts for your business, your friends, or yourself.
At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we believe that a working fire can bring comfort, warmth, and security to your life. At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we have the know-how to make this work for you. Talk to us at the store or visit online. Share your photos and ideas. Discuss the choices, ask questions, and get an estimate. We also do free visits to your home. We gather all the details to ensure a smooth and safe installation.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces installed our wood stove years ago, and we still love it. Watching the fire, feeling the heat, it's a joy we experience every day, and knowing we have a reliable heat source makes us feel extra snug and safe.
At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we display over 180 models in diverse styles, with over 35 of these burning so you can experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Whether wood, gas, or electric, find a fire that warms your heart, a fire that adds comfort and security to your life. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis, and online at woodlandstoves.com.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Andrea Romie. She is the owner of Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville, and she's here discussing the ways Home Helpers supports individuals to stay safe, independent, and comfortable right where they want to be, which is at home. And this also gives the kids great peace of mind knowing somebody's there looking after mom or dad. All right. Andrea, how can our listeners contact you if they have questions or want more information?
Yep, absolutely. So couple different ways. One is our website, which is easy to Google and to access at homehelpers.com/Burnsville-MN. And like I said, sometimes it's easier just to Google Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville. I'll be right up there.
Right.
And but my website has a ton of information. My direct business line, and I have a very lean operation, so you're going to hear me and be supported by me when you call. My number is 612-655-6041. Give me a call at any time, and I'd love to talk to you. A lot of people have, I hear a lot of times when someone calls, and especially if it's, say, a child or a spouse of someone that needs help, and they say, I've never done this before. I don't really know what to ask. I don't know exactly what you do, and that's very common. You don't look into something like this until you need it. So I am very happy to answer any questions you have. No hard sales pitch from me. I want to make sure that you're making an educated decision. You have the information that you need. And so I am open to talking to clients. Sometimes I certainly can come out to your home or the client's home. Sometimes, especially children of clients may want to have a live conversation with me before we meet mom or dad. And so you're welcome to come to my office in Burnsville. I'm open to see clients whenever you want to stop by. So that's another option, just as you're kind of gathering information on how to proceed with something like home care.
Yeah. Well, when I walked into the radio station today, this morning, and I see you on the phone and you're talking with a prospective client, and again, I tell you, you just did a great job. You were educating. And you're right. It's not about us not selling anything. You're trying to educate. And what's so important to people who are looking for this help, again, it could be, multi-generations, could be grandparents, parents, siblings. We see it just, there's so much needs out there. In fact, we had the Department of Demographics from the state of Minnesota on the show a while back, and they said that there's over 600,000 people taking care of other Minnesotans here. It's just incredible, and it's only getting more and more needs. People are living longer, but they're living with sometimes some limitations, and we'll talk about what ADLs are. It's important that people know what an ADL is, but it's so helpful for you to explain to people, what are the services, because I know so many people call our organization and say, gosh, mom just got out of the hospital. We're not sure if she can even stay at home because there's nobody there to kind of look after her. She's recovering. It's going to take a long time to recover. And we get that all the time. I get calls about how we can help support them with our our work and our profession, but that's not our primary role in a hospice provider. So it's you guys partnering with families and people like us and other referral sources to make sure people have the right care at home.
Absolutely. Yep. So that's a very common scenario where someone has been recently discharged from the hospital or recently sick, and we need a little bit more acute care. There's also folks who just know they're getting older and they want to take some burden off of maybe just home care. So things like light housekeeping, meal preparation, transportation, if someone's getting to the point where they can't drive anymore. So different scenarios as far as supporting, especially an elderly population. But I will say too, in the case of illness or surgery, someone might be younger who is having a knee replacement, which is really difficult to manage. And so again, that might be a scenario where we have a conversation and understand what support needs are just for right now and maybe for several weeks. And that's okay. We're very open to being flexible in terms of the length of time that we're supporting individuals. But just to kind of talk a little bit more specifically about the types of services that we can provide in any of those scenarios, we do support ADLs or activities of daily living, particularly for folks who need help with bathing, dressing, grooming, personal hygiene. Our caregivers are all trained and have experience in supporting those types of things. There's also, like I mentioned, the light housekeeping, meal preparation, and sometimes companionship and mobility support. So standby support for folks who are using a walker, or again, someone who might have had a surgery recently and needs some standby support. We don't want people falling if we can help it. So being there to support those types of things. And like I said, transportation is a big one as well, particularly for people who aren't driving anymore, or for people who have had surgeries and need to go back to the office for follow-up.
Right.
And are just kind of for a short period of time not able to drive themselves. We can also do things like medication and therapy reminders. So again, my license in particular doesn't allow for medication administration, and I always make sure that my clients understand, because we want to be working within the limits of our license, and we want to only be doing things that our caregivers are trained on. But what we can do is, like I mentioned, make sure that we are reminding that individuals are taking those medications on their regular schedule, and with therapies as well. If there's some individual therapies that you're doing for daily support, we can make sure that we're working with you on that and completing those tasks as directed by a doctor or a therapist, for example.
Right. And, that's so important, because when people get out of an acute situation, surgery, recovery, so often they get comfortable with not doing what they did before. Mm-hmm. And the problem that happens is they don't get back to baseline. Mm-hmm. And baseline is the goal, is to get back to where you were before the surgery or before the illness. And it requires somebody to help have some accountability. So that's another great service you guys provide. Yeah. All right, it's time for a short break. We'll be back to continue our conversation with Andrea Romie, owner of Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville, and she's here discussing the ways Home Helpers supports individuals to stay safe, independent, and comfortable right where they want to be, which is at home. If you have a question for Andrea, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
This Mother's Day, wow your mom with the Mother's Day Brunch Buffet at the Park Tavern. On May 10th from 10 until 2 p.m., treat mom to a fantastic meal with the Park Tavern Buffet featuring favorites everyone will love. $29.95 for adults, seniors and kids are $19.95, and kids 5 and under are free. And mom and the kids will cherish the hour of free bowling with every reservation. It will become your family's Mother's Day tradition. You need reservations, so call 952-929-6810. On May 10th, wow your mom with the Mother's Day Brunch Buffet at the Park Tavern.
Art-A-Whirl is celebrating its 31st year. This popular free event is the largest open studio tour in the nation, a fan favorite with art lovers, families, and fun seekers alike. With 1,400 artists in 100 locations throughout Northeast Minneapolis, you'll meet potters, painters, weavers, woodworkers, and more. And you'll find all types of art at all price levels. Then there are the terrific bars, restaurants, and breweries in Northeast, plus music, entertainment, and art demos. With Art-A-Whirl, you're set for 3 days of wonder. Start planning now. Art-A-Whirl is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 15th, 16th, and 17th. Visit NEMA.org. That's NEMAA.org for details. You'll find an artist directory, maps, dining and brew guides, event and music schedules, even info on free Metro Transit passes and free trolley service on a loop through the Arts District. That's May 15th through the 17th in Northeast Minneapolis. Join the fun!
Your time is precious. Why are you still mowing your own lawn? I'm Alex Knorr, a young, hard-working entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. At Buzzcut Mowing, I offer weekly mowing, leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I work hard so you can relax and enjoy time with family and friends. Call today and I'll handle the rest. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
Hi, I'm Mary T. Caring for others runs deep in my family. My grandmother, Rosa, was a nurse who cared for people in their homes more than a century ago. Inspired by her compassion, my mother, Margaret, and I founded the Mary T. family of companies nearly 50 years ago. Today, we continue that legacy across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Arizona, providing senior living, assisted living with memory care, home health, hospice care, rental housing, and support for people with disabilities. Each service is personal, creative, and focuses on the unique needs of those we serve. We also believe in joy and community, which is why we opened Crooner Supper Club in Fridley, a place to celebrate life with music, laughter, and connection. At Mary T., we're proud to be a Minnesota family company rooted in compassion, inclusion, and respect, and proud supporters of AM 950 and the values that this station represents. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more.
Congratulations to Mary T., named one of the most admired CEOs of 2026 by the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal.
With your AM 950 weather, this is Adam. 66 and cloudy today, 36 and cloudy for your low, and tomorrow a high of 68. Cafe Latte provides a cafe dining experience with delicious gourmet quality food. Their ever-changing menu of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups means you're sure to find everything you're going to love. Cafe Latte located on Victoria Grand. Make a reservation or place a takeout order at cafelatte.com.
ATNF AM 950 St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Saturday.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Andrea Romie. She's the owner of Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville, and she covers areas outside of Burnsville as well. But she's here to discuss the ways Home Helpers supports individuals to help them stay safe, independent, and comfortable right where they want to be, which is at home. Before we return to our conversation with Andrea, I want to mention this radio show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life health care services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. They are available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a registered nurse. Their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, 952-898-1022. Or simply visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's return to our conversation with Andrea. Hey, Andrea, if our listeners have questions or want more information, what's the best way to reach you guys?
Yep. So you can Google us, go to our website, give me a call, email me, all of the above. As I mentioned, I'm a very lean operation right now. And so any questions you have, I'm going to be answering them directly. And I really enjoy talking with clients and potential clients, both in person and on the phone. So you can Google, like I said, Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville. You'll find me. The website is homehelpershomecare.com/Burnsville-MN. And my direct business line is 612-655-6041. So give me a call anytime.
And I encourage people to give you a call. It's so important to, and isn't it fun to talk to families when they're at that crossroads? What do I do? Because a lot of times they're not given a lot of help, whether it's post-surgery or whatever. You're kind of on your own a little bit, and it's great to find people that do this for a living, and especially you as an owner-operator. You just get the best quality support.
Yes, I really pride myself on providing really hands-on client support. And like I said, I've done community events. I love being out there and talking to people, even if they're not going to be a client of mine. Having the community learn more about home care, because ideally you start home care before you're at a crisis point. So I want to make sure that I can reach as many people as possible. So there's an understanding of the options that are out there. And you have a little bit of information, hopefully, before you or your family member gets to the point where you need some in-home care. But like I said, educating, giving me a call, I can answer any questions. And, kind of the sales piece of owning a business is probably my least favorite. You're not going to get a hard sales pitch from me. I want to make sure you have the information that you need to make an educated decision. Like I said, understand what the care is, what the options are, and and feel really comfortable in supporting yourself or your family member who needs to make a decision about getting some more care.
That's such an important point. In our society, we wait until it's a crisis, and then we scramble to figure out, what do I need to know? What are the questions I should ask? What are the answers I should expect to receive?
Sure.
and we don't do that.
Yep.
But again, especially if hey, a parent or a loved one or somebody's going in for surgery, or they're going to be facing a certain situation. Call you and just say, hey, what kind of services do you provide? How do you see this working out? What can you do? Again, it takes so much stress out of the situation. Yep. If you have somebody who you trust, and someone like you,
yep,
and can give you the lay of the land, can help you look around the corner to say, here's the things you may want to consider. It's surprising how much work it is to take care of somebody who has kind of lost maybe some of their mobility, yep, or their ADLs or whatever.
Yep. And we see too, a lot with clients that have dementia, Alzheimer's.
Yes.
It's really hard to navigate because you're learning about the disease, and things can progress very differently with everyone, but sometimes they progress really rapidly. And ideally, when it comes to in-home care, you find someone to come start to help before, again, we get to kind of that crisis point, because it does take time to develop relationships. And even without dementia, with elderly care specifically, a lot of people are a little apprehensive about having individuals in their home, and it's a little scary to invite someone in and in some cases be doing kind of very intimate things like helping with bathing, dressing, grooming. That's a hard thing to navigate, but if you do that earlier on in whatever progress the disease or whatnot, if you do it earlier on in the process, it's better for the individual, because then once you get to a point where it's more critical, you already have a relationship, you already have an understanding of the types of cares that you're going to have in home. There's very few people who are at the beginning very open to home care, quite honestly, because people don't want to feel like they need the help. People, again, You know, and so it is, you know, we do want people to feel comfortable, but I will say I've already seen with several clients, you know, there was a apprehensive client, maybe even the family member was apprehensive themselves. But once you get someone in there, a caregiver who has a lot of experience working with people with different abilities or different diseases or what have you, you know, it's better in the long run for everyone. The family feels the peace of mind, the individual is supported, and it's best for everyone involved. But I do understand and see a lot that apprehension in the beginning. So I can tell you a little bit about maybe what the process kind of looks like.
Yes.
You know, like I said, we can call and have a conversation. We can have several conversations. You can meet me at my office, or at some point, I will come out and do an in-home assessment. At that point, hopefully we've had a conversation with mom or dad or spouse about, okay, we're going to bring someone in who's going to have a conversation about getting a little help in home. And maybe that starts with something that's a little less hands-on, and we're just there as, you know, helping to maintain the home, helping to cook some meals, things like that. We can have a conversation about what that looks like. But when I come in for the assessment, we will talk about the type of care that we're going to be providing or that might be needed. We're going to talk about kind of what a schedule might look like, what our hours might look like. My agency has only a 2-hour minimum, which is unique in the industry. So 2-hour daily minimum. I will, you know, recommend, especially for things like doing a full kind of personal cares, bathing, dressing, grooming for the day. A lot of times you need a little bit more time. You don't want to make that visit feel rushed. So I can help guide you on what I think based on the care that's needed, how much time you need, maybe how many times a week. We do like to have continuity of care. So if that means recommending several times a week or whatever that might look like, we'll kind of have that conversation. And if we're ready to move forward with my agency, sometimes people interview several agencies, and that's fine. If you ultimately choose to move forward with me, we'll do some paperwork. I try to make it as simple as possible, but we'll align on rates, on schedules, sign the paperwork. As we're having these conversations, I'm thinking of the caregivers that I have on staff, who might be a good fit, both with personality, with the type of cares that we're going to be providing, as well as proximity. We like to make our caregivers' commutes as short as possible if we can. It's best for everyone involved. So then from there, like I said, I'll be thinking of a caregiver that might be a good fit. We decide on the first shift. If I can, I absolutely come to the first shift. I've been able to go to everyone but one so far. I come to the first shift with the caregiver, so we can introduce the caregiver. They can get acclimated to the space. The information that I collect, I put into a care plan, and in my case, we use an app called WellSky. So my caregivers have the full care plan information. They have all the client information, all the client's contacts information, all in this app, so they can reference that throughout their time of care. So the caregiver will come in, they'll clock in through their app, and they'll start their cares for the day. One thing that happens over time, and sometimes even in the very beginning, because sometimes, let's say, we are helping with personal cares, but no one has ever done this before, and so say it's a daughter, and she says, "I think mom's pretty independent in the shower, but I just want to make sure that she's showering," and we show up to do our care, and we realize mom is not doing great in the shower by herself, and she's not able to wash her hair on her own. So we may have to adjust that care plan based on the experience that the caregiver has with the client. And so it's all kind of a communication circle between myself, the client, the family member, as well as my caregiver, in making sure that the care plan is up to date. And that may change over time as well, based on the individual. But we all stay in communication, make sure that the care plan is up to date. And really, that's kind of how we move forward with those cares over time.
Yeah. From what I hear, doing this for many, many years, is families' communication is the most important thing.
Yes.
They want to know what's going on, and it sounds like you guys do a great job of keeping everybody in the loop
Yep.
on what's happening. Because whether it's recovery that people are seeking or they're trying to manage decline, communication is just so important.
Absolutely. Yep. And all of us combined are going to create that best care experience for our clients. Because like I said, I after the first visit, I'm not there on a regular basis. So I'm relying on the information from my caregiver. I'm also relying on any updates from, potentially a family member, if there's a changing condition that they see. But what we try to do is create that, sort of circle around the client so we have all the information we need so we can best serve that client moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I see quite frequently is making sure everybody's on the same page. Because we all are. The more eyes and ears and hands on with the person that's in that situation, boy, the better it is to make the adjustments and
absolutely
do a new plan.
Yes.
Update the plan. It's always about the plan.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, it's time for a short break, everyone. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Andrea Romie, owner of Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville. And she's here answering your questions and talking about how to help your loved ones stay safe, independent, and comfortable right where they want to be, which is at home. If you have a question for Andrea, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hi, I'm Mary T. I'm a proud supporter of AM 950 because this station shares the values that I care about most: community, connection, and making a difference. Just like AM 950, I believe in using our energies, our resources, and our voices to lift up others. That's why I started the Mary T. Scholar Program at the University of Minnesota College of Education and Human Development, providing graduate students with internships internationally. For over the past 10 years, our students have served communities in Laos, Cambodia, Nepal, India, Cameroon, and Thailand, gaining experience and helping people in ways that really make a difference. Supporting AM 950 fosters conversation, awareness, and action in our communities. It's about shared values and believing that together we can make a difference. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more about the work that we do.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Our station is located on a marsh, and we do our best not to disturb that environment. So I was thrilled to discover Natural Lawn. Their safer products and soil tests ensure that your lawn will be healthy, lush, and green. I don't even have to worry about bringing my furry friend to the station, thanks to the great care from Natural Lawn. I highly recommend Natural Lawn to keep your lawn beautiful, healthy, without compromising safety and sustainability. More at naturalawn.com.
This Mother's Day, wow your mom with the Mother's Day Brunch Buffet at the Park Tavern. On May 10th from 10 until 2 p.m., treat mom to a fantastic meal with the Park Tavern Buffet featuring favorites everyone will love. $29.95 for adults, seniors, and kids are $19.95, and kids 5 and under are free. And mom and the kids will cherish the hour of free bowling with every reservation. It will become your family's Mother's Day tradition. You need reservations, so call 952-929-6810. On May 10th, wow your mom with the Mother's Day Brunch Buffet at the Park Tavern.
Hey, it's Tom Hartman, and here's a thought I keep coming back to. Your utility company raised its rates last year. It'll raise them next year and the year after that. And you have no vote, no say, and no alternative, unless you generate your own power. That's what solar makes possible for your home and your business. All Energy Solar has been helping homeowners and commercial operators take back control of their energy since 2009. They design every system specifically for you, your property, your usage, your goals. No cookie-cutter solutions, no pressure, just honest answers and expert work. Minnesota homeowners also benefit from sales tax, property tax exemptions, and some local incentives, depending on where you live. And commercial customers can still get access to the 30% federal investment tax credit through 2027. But you have to act soon. The sun shows up every day and asks nothing in return. All Energy Solar helps you capture it. Visit allenergysolar.com or call 800-620-3370 for your free evaluation today.
All right, everyone, welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Andrea Romie. She's the owner of Home Helpers Home Care, and she's located in Burnsville, but she covers more than just Burnsville, and we'll talk about that here in a second. She's here to talk about why it's so important to consider home care for your loved one to help them stay safe, independent, and comfortable right where they want to be, which is at home. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Andrea, how can our listeners contact you if they have questions or want more information?
Yep. So the easiest is just to Google me at Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville, and you'll find all my information there. My direct line is 612-655-6041. And I've got a website with a ton of information, but give me a ring at any time. I'm happy to answer any questions.
And again, you're sitting here on a Saturday morning. I walk in, and there you are on the phone talking to somebody, helping educate them about the services and how to kind of figure out what the next steps are. So again, not limited to Monday through Friday.
That's right. Anytime.
As an owner-operator, you call me anytime.
That's right.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right, last segment here, I want to make sure we cover some things. Okay, so you're located in Burnsville. Your office is in Burnsville.
Yep.
Again, very easy to get to if you want to have a meeting there.
Yep.
But Andrew's also willing to meet you at your home, meet you at your office if you're looking to help support a loved one, a parent.
Absolutely.
What is your service area that you kind of focus on right now?
Yep. So the easiest way to say is we're mostly in the Southeast Metro. Home Helpers, as we mentioned, is a franchise, and there's a number of other owners around the Twin Cities area. So if you're outside of my service area, I certainly have other Home Helpers owners, and honestly, I've met a lot of my competitors who are wonderful, who can help you as well. But my territory is essentially half of Bloomington, Richfield, and then we go down south from there. So Burnsville, Savage, Lakeville, and over east, I can also service in Farmington, Apple Valley, Eagan. I'm not quite in St. Paul quite yet. I haven't, it's really about the caregivers, right?
Yes,
so
that's right.
you have to recruit the caregivers who are in close proximity to the clients. So not quite up in St. Paul with my caregivers yet. So mostly focused on that southeast metro.
Right. So as another thing is, if you know somebody that was interested in being a part of a caregiving organization,
Sure.
give you a call as well, because I get calls. Oh, my daughter is just finishing high school or going into college or taking a gap year and just wants to work with seniors or help people.
Yep.
Give
Absolutely.
you a call as well.
Yes. Yep. So like I mentioned, with my particular license, you don't have to have any specific certification to be a caregiver. We will go through detailed training on areas that you'll be supporting. And most of my caregivers, in fact, all of my caregivers currently are very much seasoned caregivers who have a background in caregiving, but it's not required. We can train you, and we also do a background test, and again, that's required for the license in the state. Right. So you want to make sure you can pass a background test if you want to be a caregiver. But certainly, yes, we are always looking for great, qualified, or even new people who really have that caring piece and want to help their community.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you have a special program, a dementia care program.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yep. Yeah. So, one of the big questions that we get a lot when people are looking for home care is, how can you pay for it? Or are there any programs out there? Typically, home care, I will say, is private pay. There are some agencies who can accept some Medicare or Medicaid, but that's honestly quite limited. It's typically private pay. We also can work with long-term care insurance. Typically, they have an in-home or some in-home coverage. So if you do have a long-term care policy, that's wonderful. So what I would always say is contact your policy the sooner the better, because there are certain stipulations around what you can use that for, and there's usually a waiting period before you can start to tap into those services paid by the long-term care insurance. So So get that information. They'll likely need my information, but I am licensed and insured. So if I'm not within their list yet, I'll provide that information. So that's a good way of getting some coverage for home care. But as you mentioned, there is a new program that I was recently approved for to be an in-home provider for. It's called the GUIDE program. It's a federally funded, CMS oversees the program. It's specifically for folks with dementia. So what it is on my side is if you have a dementia or in the process of getting if your doctor is in the process of seeing if you have dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that, diagnosing that specifically, we'll go through a process to see if you're eligible for this GUIDE program. Once you go through the eligibility process and you're approved, you can get essentially 18 4-hour shifts of in-home care. So it's certainly not going to be full-time care by any means, but it is free. And there's also navigators, part of the GUIDE program that helps you outside of the in-home care as well to connect you with resources if needed, things like that. So it's really an all-encompassing program. And like I said, it's federally funded, and I'm an approved provider here in Minnesota. So it's a great opportunity, particularly for family members who are doing the caregiving today and they need some respite care. That's always something that I recommend to look into. There obviously are certain stipulations on those who are approved. You cannot have a Medicare Advantage plan. You have to be on traditional Medicare. But like I said, once you're approved, you get kind of free care, which is rare. So
well, I think it's especially important with dementia because you want to have that relationship established before conditions get worse.
Exactly.
It's amazing how just the energy, just that familiarity is so important.
Yep.
All right. One more time, how do people get a hold of you if they have questions or want more information?
Home care, Home Helpers Home Care, Burnsville. Andrea Romie, call me at 612-655-6041.
And again, you can meet them in their home. You can meet them at your office, at their office. Again, very flexible.
Yep.
If you have any questions, again, no obligation.
Correct.
Just give you a call.
Yep.
Learn more about the services of home care because it's so important. It's a great peace of mind for the adult children.
Absolutely.
When they know somebody. And what's nice is your clients enjoy seeing someone come in on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
So, all right. We're at the end of the show. I want to thank Andrea Romie, owner of Home Helpers Home Care of Burnsville, for being here to discuss her program and how she supports safe, independent, comfortable, right where people want to be, which is at home. Give her a call if you have any questions. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast, and thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, choose to live well.